Hey guys, and welcome along to a brand new episode of Rural New Zealand. I'm your host, Gordon Findlater. Well, on this episode, we head off to the BHU Training College. We meet Jonesy, a keen hunter, and we find the young veggie grower of the year. But first up, we're off to Geraldine to meet a couple that cleaned up at the recent Canterbury Balanced Farm Environment Awards. Meet Joe and Suz Wyborn. The couple recently attended the Canterbury Farm Environment Awards, taking out not just the Supreme Award, but 5 dongs in total. An achievement not even they could have predicted.
Yeah, we really, one
we thought maybe.
But to do 5 was just awesome. Yeah, really unexpected, but really good at the same, cool at the same time.
Joe has a history in dairy farming in the UK, and when the couple moved back to New Zealand, they decided it was time to move on to greener pastures.
We ran a contracting business for 9 years for the Pye family, and that sort of run its course, and I was looking for a new challenge. So I said to Suz, what do you think about we go dairy farming? And and then before we knew it.
Freaked for a start, but no.
I'd done dairy farming in the UK before. So we managed a 700 cow farm the first year, and then we low-order share milked it the second year, and we moved here 7 years ago. And we've been share milking here ever since. I'm very much the cows side of things, and the day-to-day running of the farm, and Suz's accounts, wages and calf rearing, and we keep to our separate parts of the business.
And it works fine. It works well.
No, we do our own thing.
The couple were recently praised for water usage, taking out the Environment Canterbury Water Quality Award, helped by advances in technology that allow the farm to now apply just the right amount of irrigation.
Here, the green line is another aquaflex, and that sits right at the bottom of the root zone the whole way. Right. So what we're trying to do is keep between the bottom tape and the top of the ground
a certain amount of moisture.
A certain amount of moisture in there, and that moisture is deflected by that shaded area. Okay. So all we're trying to do is keep the blue line in that shaded area. Water use is one of my things I'm really focused on. I can't bear to see water being wasted. We've got a limited resource of it here. We're on a seasonal allocation and we're on an irrigation scheme. So we use water really sparingly here, and we're growing fantastic amounts of grass. So, and that coupled with the fact that when you add all that together, you're not getting nutrient losses as well, which is really something we're really focused on. Our liquid effluent goes through the pivot, goes through the whole of the pivot, so we can spread effluent really efficiently here at very low rates, which means we certainly don't get any ponding from effluent. And we use the soil moisture probes, and we keep a close eye on the weather when we're going to spread effluent. We've got 3 weeks of storage. So we just make sure that we're always spreading effluent when the soil's at a stage where it can absorb all the effluent and doesn't leach anything. And then we get good plant utilisation from that then. This farm, we've got two sites on the farm with Aquaflex soil moisture meters in the ground, and they relay back to the shed every 2 hours automatically. And then we can access that data and make all of our irrigation decisions around that. And also it's a matter of training staff. I mean, we're off farm. We've got a family and we enjoy our holidays, so we get off farm when we can. So it's really important that your staff are well trained to know to turn the irrigator off and when to irrigate and when not to irrigate.
When to irrigate has become an even easier task thanks to technology, with Joe able to not only turn on and off the centre pivot, but to control the volume of water going out, all by the touch of a phone.
So I can check it on here, so this is where it's sitting, and this is what it's doing, so it's running dry in reverse in a manual mode at the moment. This is what degrees it's at, and there's no water pressure going through there. So yesterday, as I was spreading effluent, I was able just to go in here and check that the pivot's moving okay, and it's still spreading effluent and everything. And we get that information, so we look at where the cows are going next and just make sure we're not going to be spreading on any of their paddocks, and then away we go.
And it's not just on the irrigation front that Joe and Suz have implemented game-changing technology on the farm.
Yeah, so we're doing more soil testing now, and all the trucks have got proof of placement. and they've all got variable rate fertiliser as well through a GPS system. So every truck that comes here can't spread the wrong fertiliser in the wrong paddock. So they're always right paddock, right amount of fertiliser going on all the time. And any wet spots or sensitive areas, they know that they can't spread near them as well. So yeah, technology is catching up really quickly. The calf feeders work really well for Suz because it means she can rear 300 calves on her own and still be able to do everything else she's got to do in her day as well. So the technology there is cut down on labour for sure. We rear calves really efficiently, and yeah, it means Suz can keep control on that. And in the shed, the same with the camera. Like we AI all of our cows now. We don't use any bulls here, so that's got a health and safety impact built into it as well, which we really like. And yeah, and it means that we don't have to stand up there every morning picking cows on heat. We can let the camera do it. So yeah, that works really well too.
No wonder the couple also picked up a Massey University Innovation Award. The list of awards may not be over yet either, with the couple heading to the Bay of Islands in June to attend the National Balanced Farm Environment Awards, along with 10 other regional winners. And although the 3-day break from the farm will be nice, they agree that New Zealand country life sure beats the UK.
Oh, there's no comparison. No, absolutely no comparison. Yeah, wild horses couldn't drag me back to the UK. This is just awesome farming over here, proper farming. Yeah, no, it's really good. I'd hate to go back to a subsidy-based system. Yeah, no, this is the way to go. Pasture-based dairy farming.
And good luck to them up north. Well, stay with us. After the break, we check out some impressive beetroot out at Lincoln University. Welcome back to rural New Zealand. Well, have you ever been interested in growing organics? The BHU Training College has been in operation since 2007 in partnership with Lincoln University. This week we pay a visit to college manager Bill Martin and meet a couple of the course's students. On the edge of the Lincoln University campus, you'll find the BHU Organic Training College. The Biological Husbandry Unit Organics Trust is a joint venture between the university and the New Zealand Organic Movement, dedicated to providing education, training and research in organic, ecological, permanent and related agricultures and horticultures. We caught up with college manager Bill Martin to find out how the course appeals to its students.
So we run 3 programs here. We run our Year 1 program, which gives you an introduction to organics, principles and practices and general horticulture, and a bit of exposure to sheep and the animals we run here. We run an applied course, which we call our Year 2 program, where students get a tunnel house and some outdoor growing area. And then we run our stepping stone program, where students who still like us after 2 years can actually lease part of our farm and grow produce on our certified organic farm and sell it as organic. So the students come from a fairly wide and varied range of backgrounds. Some have a history in gardening or farming, some haven't grown a thing in their lives, but they generally have wanted to do something like this for a while, and now they've found themselves in a position where they can do it.
Let's start off Year 1. You're coming on board, what can you expect to get out of the course?
So Year 1 will expose you to organic principles and practices, and then also some general gardening skills. The Year 1 students work in the Year 1 garden here behind us, where they break up into one of 6 rotations, and they're responsible for that 6th of the rotation for the year, and we take them through a series of sort of techniques for that sort of thing. And we try and do as much hands-on as we can. The emphasis here is more on how to do stuff, what do you need in order to do it, where do you get it, and those sorts of things.
Stepping up to Year 2, is it a case of getting even more hands-on?
Yeah, Year 2 is more applied. The main focus is on vegetable growing, and students choose a crop to focus on for their year 2 vegetable growing project. They plan for that crop, they put it into practice, and then they evaluate how it went. And then the other side of year 2 is the marketing side of it as well. So students have a market stall on campus once a week where they sell their produce to staff and students at the university.
And after hearing about it, I thought I'd better go down and check out the market stall at the university campus, where I ran into second year student Caroline. The organic produce stall has proved popular on campus, and I can see why, as I was unable to get over the size of Caroline's beetroot. Now, the one thing I've noticed right here today is, if you look down here, here's your, that's what I expect at home from the supermarket beetroot. You've not only got, I don't know how many times I'd have to cut that up to fit in my juicer at home.
That's a supernova.
A supernova. And how on earth do you make a beetroot look like this?
Well, they're just different varieties, yeah. So different strains of seeds, and yeah, we always do try and get organic seeds, well, you know, where we can. So it's just a different variety.
And speaking of variety, the course is also proven to offer a wide range of potential career opportunities for students going forward.
Now, we have people who go on to education, for example. We've had students who have gone on into hospitality, and there's a really strong link between the hospitality industry and organics, and a growing link there. We have students who go on and focus on veggie growing and do the stepping stone program, and then go on to be organic growers. So, you know, there are a wide range of places that you can put what you learn here into practice.
Being right on the doorstep of Lincoln University, the students also have access to many of the varsity's resources.
Yeah, so we are one of Lincoln's delivery partners, and the farm here is a charitable trust which has been set up with the help of Lincoln University, and we have Lincoln University people on our trust board, so they're fully behind us really, and like a lot of institutions, training providers now, you know, Lincoln University is into sustainable farming principles and practices. They see that as the way forward, and that's, you know, fits well with what we do here.
If people want to get on the course, when are intakes?
So our intake starts in August every year. This year it's on the 1st of August, and that's for our Year 1 Intro and our Year 2 Applied Organics programs. And the reason we start in August is because we follow the growing season. So it gives a bit of time for students to plan and prepare for the growing season, and then put those plans into practice.
And you would have heard Bill there talking about the Stepping Stone project. Make sure you tune in next week where we meet Claire, who's making the most that the opportunity has to offer. Well, we're staying with veggies now, and Christchurch recently played host to the Young Veggie Grower of the Year competition. We went down and had a look. Riccarton Racecourse was the scene as 4 of the country's top young veggie growers were pushed to the limits to find the Young Veggie Grower of the Year. This year's competitors came from a range of backgrounds, with the oldest 28 and the youngest competitor just 16.
Well, I'm 16, I'm from a family farm just outside of Sprinkston there, so yeah, growing mainly onions and pumpkins, but yeah, a little bit of peas. Go to Lincoln High School.
I started studying horticulture when I was at high school, and yeah, studied all the way from 3rd form all the way through to 7th form, and then decided to go to university, and then went to Massey and studied applied science there, and was there for a few years, and then ended up back going into the Bay of Plenty and kiwi fruit, and it was sort of the same time that PSA, the disease, broke out there, so it was all sort of doom and gloom, and I decided I might change to vegetables, and yeah, ended up working for Wilcox in the pack house there, and yeah, recently changed to a new position doing growing out in the field, so yeah, involved with potatoes mainly, doing trials and things like that.
We have a family business based in Pukekohe, so from a young age I was always with the old man, and getting up early and hanging out with him on the farm. So so ever since then I was quite interested, and as I got older I was getting quite keen, and then started doing jobs myself.
I grew up with my dad, who decided about 9 years ago he wanted to do market gardening instead of growing kiwi fruit for his job, and yeah, since then been working with him, and been at another workplace and worked for a parsnip grower for a little while, and a transplant nursery that makes transplants for growers. Worked there for a little while and then decided I'll come work with Dad.
The four lads were put through the ringer with a number of practical tests, including quad biking and working on a seed spreader, while an element of theory was also involved, testing knowledge on finance and cash flow. One activity that provided a number of different results was the squash crate assembly, a test against the clock.
I started this morning with that first, so it was hard with the examples, but you're just by yourself and you've got to look at that example for 10 minutes and then you have to go back and build your one, and you're not allowed to look at the other example, so sort of got to memorise as much as you can.
The prize for the day's overall winner is not just the title of Young Veggie Grower of the Year, but also the chance to compete at the National Grower of the Year competition held in July.
Last year, the national final winner was a young vegetable grower. So while the fruit sector is strong, the veggie guys certainly hold their ground, but there's always some friendly competition between the two.
Competing in the comp is also a pretty good look on the CV.
My younger brother was headhunted out of the family business after entering this competition. It worked out well for him. He was looking for something else to do, and was asked to go and work for a seed company after competing in this competition. He found it really, really valuable.
So, what motivated this year's contingent of veggie growers to enter themselves into the competition?
Mum and Dad, really.
Oh, there's always pressure from colleagues to enter things like this, so and then just to test myself, it's always good to get out of your comfort zone and do TV interviews and things like that, get right out of your comfort zone. So yeah, no, it's better than staying at home and doing the same thing every day.
Oh well, well, to be honest, I actually got roped into it, but no, I thought it'd be a good experience as well.
Oh, my mate Daniel, that's in the competition. He kind of like dragged me into it.
And all going well, these young faces will go on to flourish in the industry, which has the potential to stride forward with the involvement of more young growers.
We're poised for growth. You know, we not only have amazing growth targets to reach 10 billion by 2020, but we're there on the cusp of that growth phase, and we need the people to do that.
I want to be around more young people in the industry. I find that the circles that I roll in within the industry, I'm dealing with guys older than me, and and I'm on the wrong side of 25. So I want to be dealing with guys more my age, and the only way to do that is to help bring them through.
And well done to Andrew Hutchinson from Pukekohe, who took out the day's competition, and will now head to the Young Grower final in July. We'll stay with us on Rural New Zealand. After the break, we meet Jonesy, a keen hunter. Welcome back to Rural New Zealand. Well, Allan Jones is an ex-military man turned keen hunter. We caught up with Jonesy and discussed his ability to still hear thanks to Maryvale Hearing Clinic and the importance of ear protection. Meet Jonesy. After a long career in the military, his hearing was busted. However, thanks to advancements in technology, he's able to get on with life.
I joined the Army in 1959 and stayed there for 28 odd years. In the early days, if we were on the range, you'd have 10 firers and something like about 20 rounds each firing at targets. If you got hearing protection at all, In those days it was fiberglass cotton wool rolled up and stuffed in each ear. Not very effective. So consequently, after 28 years of that sort of career, with lots of bangs and thunder flashes and on active service overseas, where hearing protection was not used or not available because you had to listen, particularly in the jungle in Malaya, my hearing was damaged. I've lost all the high tones. I can't hear any of the high tones whatsoever. But there's a man in Merivale here, Greg Foote, who I went and saw through the RSA, and he's provided me with these real good hearing aids, these ones here. Lovely. I came out of his office after fitting them, and straight away I noticed a difference. I could hear the birds, and when I got home, sitting in the lounge, I could hear the clock ticking, which I haven't heard for 20 odd years.
Having learnt the hard way, Jonesy is now a big advocate of hearing protection.
I use a Hardy suppressor on my rifle, which chops the noise right back. Also helps with the kick, get very little kick, and improves the accuracy. I do a bit of chainsaw work now and then. I make sure that I use correct hearing protection. Today I use the good still hearing protection, and the face mask, and these here, the chaps.
Oh, yep.
The earlier chainsaw like this is a real noisy little machine. The newer ones are a lot quieter, but use the right gear and you'll look after your hearing.
Fine. And now that he's got his hearing back, thanks to Merivale Hearing Clinic, Jonesy is able to enjoy his favourite activity.
Well, I can hear deer in the bush, particularly if they're roaring at that, and I can hear myself if I make noises. When you're trying to sneak along nice and quiet, I can hear it. There is a new product out, which I've got to go see Greg about, which suppresses the noise if you do fire. I haven't yet seen them. I know it's on the market, I know he's got them, and I'm due pretty shortly to go and see him.
Tell us about your friend here. Does she enjoy getting out in the bush and hunting some stags?
Lovely. She's indicated on 7 stags so far. She's 3 years old. Her brother is on TV, radar, on the drug scene. She's a real good mate, real good. Aren't you, girl? Aren't you, girl? Eh? Aren't you? Cool. Don't you like these fellas?
Well guys, unfortunately that's all we've got time for on this episode of Rural New Zealand. If you do want to see what we're up to on our travels, be sure to like us on Facebook, just search Rural New Zealand. Make sure to tune in next week where we meet Johnny, who's showing off the latest in drone technology. I put the mortgage on a pig, and we're back down at the BHU Organic Trading College. We look forward to seeing you then.